Hi, welcome to the Deck Network. I'm your host, Mike Danzolio, and today we have Sean from Curve Your Deck. Sean, how you doing?
Good. Glad to be here, Mike.
Okay, so let's jump in on this one. Sean is introducing a new part to Curve Your Deck. Sean, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, what it is, Mike, is it's a prefabbed frame, railing, and decking for an 8-foot radius. So I can actually send the contractor or the homeowner their parts, and they can just build a deck nonstop.
Yeah, and what was the issue? How was it done before?
Well, before, what people would have to do is they'd have to frame it out, make a template, and send it to me, and then I'd make the decking and make the railing or railing for them. Now I got the whole complete package. It's like if you want a curved deck, I'll send you either 6-foot or 8-foot decking and railing and the framing to go with it.
Yeah, so you can get it done seamlessly without having to stop, make a template, just mail it to Sean. Sometimes that could take a few weeks depending on how busy he is.
Yeah, but deck season is upon us.
Okay, well let's show you this piece of, let's show you the part. All right, here's the part. We tried to take a picture of it, and it wasn't picture friendly. So
it just didn't do it justice.
Yeah. So Sean, tell us what we have here.
What we have here is we have a 5 half-inch pieces of plywood laminated together and curved to an 8-foot radius, pre-made, prefabricated. Takes all the guesswork out of it.
Right, so we've been experimenting with that for a little while, trying to figure out how to get that to work properly, and
once again, it was a learning curve.
Yeah, it was our research and development section over here at Curve Your Deck. We spent some time working on that. So I made some sketches of this, which are on the Curve Your Deck website. So Sean, why don't you explain a little bit about what this is?
Well, what we got here is a drawing which has your 2x10 beam underneath, and this is actually a 7'10" radius going to the outside of the frame. And the reason why it's 7'10" is because your actual true 8-foot would be the outside of the decking with your reveal. And that gives you room for your fascia board, everything, and it makes it look beautiful.
Okay, you can see we have the footings here with a beam underneath holding it up. And we made it in 2 different sizes. And Sean, why don't you tell us why we did it like that?
Well, because different size decks require a different size curve. If you've only got a 12x12 deck, you don't need an 8-foot long curve on your deck. It takes away too much of the square footage, unless that's what you want, of course. Now, then again, if you have a 16x20 deck, the 8-foot railing and decking would be awesome.
Okay, so we made these at a pre-made 8-foot radius, and that's about the tightest that we can make it without having any problems on the curve. So we'll show you that in a little bit and why we have to do it that way. Okay, here's a deck that Sean made the curves for last year over here on Long Island, and this deck is just beautiful. I would have suggested that they cut these 42-inch
sleeves a little shorter.
A little bit shorter, but
it all depends upon what you want.
Other than that, it looks real good. And there's a curved set of stairs, this is just a beautiful deck. First of all, let's take a look at the deck here at my showroom. If I can find it here, it's actually right outside.
It's outside this Deck Network studio right here.
Yeah, it's right here. So we made this one over the winter, and we've been making these parts for a while now, and since we don't build these things, we don't really see what the problems are. So Sean, why don't you show us what a problem is that we had to rectify?
Well, what it is having the corner post here square with the outside of the frame made it where you had an extreme miter on the railing up here, and it makes it very difficult to get that cut correctly. And as you can see, the railing is actually, the cut is going beyond the sides of the post here, and so that doesn't really look that good. By twisting the post a little bit, you have a lot less of a miter on the curve rail, and it's just a small miter on the straight rail, and it makes it the effect is just so much nicer.
On these TimberTech Radiance rails, in between the beads on the corners of the 4x or the 5x5 posts, it's wide enough to accept a railing with a 45-degree angle on it. Now this is probably close to 65 degrees. That's why it encroaches upon the bead, so it doesn't look that great. So in the sketches that we have, we show it with the
post.
The posts are inside the curve.
Now what you want to do is you want to have the corner of your post line up with the side of the post back on the straight side. That way you don't end up having your rail go back and forth at angles, and keeps it nice and straight. And then at the same time, it's allowing you to have a much less of a miter on your curved rail.
Yeah, so you can almost have it on one side, and you can cut it in half, or what we call bisecting the angle. It's not going to be equal though. So let's get ready. We made a frame. All right, so we have a frame here, and this is just a basic square or rectangle. And notice we have the doubles on it now. This is just for illustration purposes, because if we were building this deck from scratch, we wouldn't put the doubles on until we've attached the curved, laminated, treated plywood part. So this is what it looks like at a square or a rectangle. Then you add on the laminated part with the pre-made 8-foot radius on it.
And then you can scribe your frame, and it also lets you know where you have to place your beam to support the deck.
Yes, you wouldn't put joist hangers on this because although it's strong enough, it's laminated plywood, because we always know that that's stronger than a 2x8. But it's not engineered, so we're just not even going to go down that path. So it's easier to put a beam underneath, and you can see from the next photo, we have the beam underneath here. We have our hurricane ties, the curved radius on here. These 4x4 posts, of course, they're blocked in, but they're inside the curve. Very important. It comes out a lot better.
You notice that the corner of this post is right there at the corner of the straight frame. That's making sure your rail is going to be straight all the way down the side of the deck.
All right, and you can buy these any way that you'd like, whether you just want the curved railing with the laminated plywood part. And in a lot of cases, people would like would have a single border, or a double border, or a triple border, and depending upon what they're trying to do. Sometimes I've seen it with different colors. I've seen the triple borders with a lighter color on the outside, a darker color on the border, matching the inside. You can do all sorts of different things.
It all depends upon what kind of a finished effect you want when the job's completed.
And when it's finished, it looks like that. So we have them in 6-foot and 8-foot lengths. There's not much of a price difference, because it takes the same amount of work, and it's just the difference between the cost of an 8-foot rail and a 6-foot rail. But let's look at some of the other projects that Sean did. This is here at my store, No Maintenance Decks in Long Island, New York. This is a beautiful round pergola with a
stonemaker's fire pit.
Yes, and we didn't have a lot of space, so we made it 12-foot in diameter. Therefore, we have a 6-foot radius. And Sean, tell us some of the problems that we had with that.
Well, see, the problem is we're trying to bend the material at a tight radius. The inside wants to constrict, and the outside wants to stretch. And what it does is it causes the material to buckle like this. And there's not much I can do about that, because it's the width of the decking causing the problem. Yeah. If it was narrower, I could bend it tighter.
Yeah, you can see that the outside of this deck board stretches and the inside compresses. So when you're going past a certain threshold, which we found to be about 8 foot, now we've done some at 7 foot. In this particular one, we tried it at 6 foot, and it didn't work. So it's hard to do. And now the railings are narrower, so you can bend them a little bit more, but here's what we found when we did one on that round pergola. These were made...
Yeah, this didn't crack until about 2 months after it was installed.
Yeah, because there's a lot of pressure on it. It's stretching the outside of the radius and compressing the inside of the radius, and it just ended up breaking at the weak point, which is right here at the corners. And here's our treehouse that we made over at our showroom, and it looks pretty nice. So we just
that's where I sleep when my wife throws me out.
Yeah, that certainly is a common occurrence. All right, that's about it, and it's a great part. It's going to really make your job of putting curved corners on your deck less expensive, certainly less time consuming. If you're a contractor, it's going to save you a day just in labor, because you won't have to come back, bring your tools, leave another job, schedule it, make the templates. It just makes your everything.
You can get in, get out, get it done.
Yeah, and And we know in deck building, it's all about labor and materials and this, and we want to cut down the labor. So we're taking away all the thinking and away.
Taking the guesswork out of it
Okay.
and making it very contractor friendly.
All right, Sean, did a great job on that. And
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll see you again soon.
Definitely. Take care.
Yeah, bye.